Thank you, Bryson. Our next senior speech will be presented by Samantha Shander. Samantha has been attending St. Stephen's for 2 years. She loves to give back to her community and is a member of our Interact Club. We will now hear Samantha Shander's senior speech.
I don't think that anything could have prepared me enough for this moment. If you know me, or even if you don't, you could probably assume that I hate public speaking. So imagine my surprise when just over a year ago, I realized I had to be standing here today. I feel as if I have so much to say, but nothing at all. For the past almost 6 years now, nothing has stayed all too consistent. I remember 6th grade, I was still with the class I'd been in for my whole elementary school career, and it pretty much stayed that way into 7th grade too. We had the smallest middle school in the district, and of course the class size grew a little bit, which was a little daunting as a 12-year-old, but it just seems like such a little comparison to everything else that changed the next few years. By 8th grade, the middle school I had been going to for just a year was completely shut down, and now my whole school, plus incoming 7th graders, had to transfer and merge with a bigger school in the district. And that was definitely a much more drastic change, as my class size had completely doubled. And a few events were altered because of this. I remember there being about 6 different lunch periods, and there were so many students, so not everyone could even eat in the cafeteria. It was horrible. Volleyball tryouts took forever because there was such an increase in students that year. In general, though, our class was split into 3 teams, so you would never really engage with anybody that wasn't on your team. And pretty much every section was split so that you only had one hallway, so it wasn't too bad. And then, of course, high school came around. And I feel like for anybody, moving up to high school is a totally different setting. But I remember being so anxious that I ended up getting my schedule early so that I could look for my classrooms before the term actually started. And it sounded like a nice advantage, but it literally didn't help at all. On my first day, I still had no idea where I was going. And obviously the class size grew yet again, and now my classes were split between different grade levels. The school was so big, but the hallways were always so congested, and I hated having PE, 5th period, right before math, which is on the complete opposite side of the building. I never really got used to the cafeteria either. There were multiple tier levels, and you just really had to know your way around. And then, of course, 2020 just naturally came and changed everyone's lives. For the next year and a half, I'd have short school days for 4 days a week online, and I would honestly just wake up 10 minutes before my class at most when my first period started. I pretty much didn't leave my bedroom for the whole day. But at that time, it didn't really matter where you were physically, as long as you were virtually in the class. So I'd consistently be traveling back and forth between Pennsylvania and Florida at the time, and my permanent house now was just a vacation home. And then the executive decision was made where that house become my permanent house and to come live here. That's how I got here, which was a totally different environment because now my class is actually downsized, and I didn't know any people because every year before I had been in the same district, so it had always been roughly the same group. So no year has ever really been the same, and now I kind of just come to accept that these things are pretty much always vulnerable to change, and that these changes are most certainly minor compared to anything else that may change upon me leaving high school. And then I wanted to say a few thank yous to my friends from all over, really, who have helped me to adjust to everything and to get here. You've helped me a lot. To my sister, who I feel like I can never escape, because even when you left for college, close to 6 years ago, I don't think I ever went more than a few weeks at a time without seeing you at the minimum. And then when we moved, as in me and my parents, you decided to move here to transfer schools about 2 months later, and you still live with me, which isn't actually a bad thing because you've always helped me through everything, but now I'm so used to being in close proximity with you all the time that it will definitely hit hard to move. But thank you for always being there, and I'm excited for this weekend. Thank you to my dad, who is more often than not on my back about everything, but it comes from a good place. I appreciate that you've done everything and more for me, and how supportive you've been pretty much always. You always have my best interests at heart. Thank you for being a constant. And then my mom, who out of anyone in this room, I was the most fearful of you hearing this speech, not because of what you may think though, but because I didn't want to disappoint you. You're easy to talk to, and I don't think I would have been able to move forward at all without you. Spending time with you is my favorite things, and I'm happy you found something you're passionate about. I love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha.